Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. As promised, I do have one more video for you guys tonight before I start regularly uploading every day. Mostly going to be champion tutorials. That is where my expertise in this game lies. I know a lot about the champions, I know a lot about the interactions, just comes with the territory I've been playing for 10 years. But I also hope to do other videos, i.e. events on the contest, my thoughts on things and whatnot, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about getting into a criminally, I'll repeat, criminally underrated champion. This champion, passed right through him. This champion is going to be the superior version of Iron Man. If you don't know about superior Iron Man, he is essentially an evil Tony Stark that made a symbiote suit of armor. Really cool comic, suggest you read it. It's not my business to get into the comics, though I will highly recommend Superior Iron Man. It's one of his best runs. This champion can do a whole load of things. He is a nuke in Battlegrounds. He also is extraordinary for questing and specifically long-form content, which we will show you, do not worry. But I wanted to get into his abilities real quick. I'll try to buzz through them because I know that's the boring part. We're gonna just try to speedrun it because a lot of y'all probably already know, but there's important things in his abilities that a lot of people don't know, and I want to make sure we cover. Doesn't really get willpower, gets about 75% reduction in willpower, but has pseudo-immunity, bleed, incinerate, and shock, which is very good. He gets armor rating for each buff in addition to attack rating on each buff, and you're going to have at max ramp roughly 33 buffs. So doing some math real quick, that's going to be roughly 8,000 attack rating you're getting and 4,000 armor rating, which is nothing to scoff at. It's quite a lot of tankiness and damage. Auto block, you're really never going to use this unless it's an oh crap moment, aside from one specific situation, which I will cover when we get to the auto block. If you have enough buffs, it will trigger parry, so you can get a free stun off of it if you know how to use it, but generally it's kind of your oh crap. And it's a really good oh crap because this guy is so frickin' tanky that he can kind of just take hits for fun. And if you get an auto block off one of those hits that you're taking because you're so tanky, you can kind of reverse it and throw it right back in their face. Really nice for Battlegrounds, really nice for endgame content. You're going to be hearing that a lot, guys, so get used to it. Superior buffs, essentially bonus ability accuracy cannot be neutralized, they can be nullified, staggered, and fate sealed. He can be in the form of armor up, energy resist, crit resist, amplify, and regen. Obviously, the regen is pretty crazy. The armor up is really good for being tanky. It's a good amount of armor. We'll go over that when we get to it. Energy resistance can also be crazy, though you're kind of pseudo-immune to the two biggest energy debuffs in the game, which is going to be Incinerate and Shock, but if you got a Cold Snap node, stack on, you can pre-fight that energy resist, and you can pretty much completely ignore it. You get the buffs by your second medium attack or a medium intercept. Medium intercepting makes it faster. You can get them 2 stacks of the buff by a light intercept or a light combo finisher. Intercepting, of course, makes it a little bit faster. Fury and power gain, I really do not pay attention to the way I play this character, but you can know about them. I'll tell you about them real quick. The Fury you get from the special 3, it also pauses your buffs. It's about 10 seconds. It's a good Fury. I think it's about 2,000 on my rank 2. And the power gain is if you're going for a special run rotation, you can essentially get to your special 2 faster while mixing in special 1s. It does not trigger twice, so you can't do any of that Phoenix BS where you just spam and then you're up to a special 2. It'd be cool if it did, but it would really, it's just not necessary for the character. You really only want to do special 1 rotation. We'll talk about superior buffs right after this, but you only want to do it when you're facing heavily armored opponents, or specifically opponents that have lots of armor up buffs, because the special 2 is going to do way more for reducing armor rating. And i.e. Red Skull would be my first thought there. He can take Red Skull. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily if you have a better counter like Adam Warlock or Scream, but he can totally do it. Just adding to a laundry list of fights he can do, a good reason to rank him up. Superior buffs, yeah, so the armor rating is about 283, which is actually, I believe, the exact amount of attack rating. I am wrong. It's close to the exact amount of attack rating you get per buff. Not that would be super relevant, but a good amount of armor, considering you can stack 8, so you're going to be roughly getting 1,000 extra armor rating in addition to the 4,000 you get from max buff stacks, which, as I said previously, is about 33. Energy resistance, good amount, same number, so you can do that math yourselves. Same with crit. Regen doesn't seem like a lot, but we can go over, remember it's ×8, and we can go over the signature ability in a second. Ability power rate, superior amplify, you really want those built up before you're throwing the special one, which is just extra ramp you do not need unless you are trying to break some armor. And if you're, in the case you're trying to break some armor, the special one actually goes off of how many unique buffs you have, not the sheer amount. So really, you wouldn't ever want to stack that. You would want to kind of build the 4 first, and then at that time you already be a special one, throwing your special one without the amplify. It's just a mess. I don't think he was particularly designed for special one rotation, but you can do it. Heavy attack, Spirit Instinct. I'm going to tell you about a little trick here from our friend Arnim Zola. He is not our friend. He is one of my least favorite people to go up against Battlegrounds. I do not have him. I wish I had him because he is a nightmare. So this Instinct is going to allow you to do some cool things against Arnim Zola. So triggers the parry mastery when it's active against non-contact attacks. Now, let's do some math here. His auto block can also trigger the parry mastery, and it's 100% once you have 5 unique superior buffs. You can keep 4 stacks of superior buffs pretty consistently active at all time. 8 stacks, 1 stack, it doesn't matter. But you can keep those active pretty much 100% of the time. So you get 4 unique superior buffs, throw your heavy, doesn't matter if it hits him, when he's below 1 bar of power. If he runs into you, he gets parried and you retake the advantage. If he doesn't, you get the amplify, and now you can parry him and refresh that with your refresh superior buff, which we will go over. Special attack 2, this is the big one. Gain a copy of each buff, increase your ramp up faster, and inflict 1 armor break debuff, just 1. That deals 450 armor break reduction with 50% each increased potency for each buff on Tony. So if you are going to have about 33, roughly, buffs active at max ramp, and you get 50% with each potency. This isn't a high school math class, but I can tell you that it's going to be roughly 5,000 to 6,000, depending on if you have some extra stacks from your refresh buff, armor break reduction, in addition to the 8,000 attack you get from being at 33 buffs. So it's quite the heavy hitter once you learn that special 2. That is what you should be going for. Special 3 is the Fury, which we already discussed, and it's about 2,400 extra attack. Good, kind of just an oh crap, I pushed to a special 3 and I'm not going to get punished for it. But not really what we should be going for. Now, these buffs that I'm talking about when I'm talking about a refresh buff, they last less long for each one you have active, but I think the slowest it's going to last is roughly, it's roughly 8.5 seconds is the 4th stack buff. That's as long as it's going to last. Plenty of time to land a medium attack or throw a heavy, because the heavy lasts, I think, 10 seconds. So usually things will work out for you, especially if you get a refresh in which you can refresh at least some of your 4th stack buffs with the heavy. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but trust me, it is worth it to know how this champion works because he can kick some butt. And then your 5th buff, whatever it may be, because it's going to be random, will be used to refresh the entire stacks, all 4 stacks of every superior buff. So that is essentially how you're going to be ramping him. That's how you're going to be using him. Too long didn't listen is go for intercepts, light and medium, and go for a special 2. That's all you really need to know. This extra information, though, is always good. Moving on to his signature ability, increased regen when you're lower health. Amazing for staying alive. Not really great for Battlegrounds or anything else, but pretty darn good if you're looking to stay alive, though you would kind of be staying alive anyway because you're so freaking tanky. Auto block cooldown, good. No problem there. We love that. And some cheese with bleed, incinerate, and shock hazard shifts, just pausing your buffs for a couple seconds so you can do light combo enders over and over again and light intercepts over and over again, where you don't have to medium and you can get your max buff stacks. Though you need to be very high sig for that, and he's really just doesn't need the sig stones. I naturally have him at sig 60, so sometimes I try to cheese with those nodes. Not necessary. Enough talk. Let's show you. Let's not talk. Let's show you what he can do. So, I'm going to start off with my favorite punching bag. If you've watched this channel in the past, or if you're new to it, my favorite punching bag is this little Winter Soldier. Oh, looks like I'm already in a Labyrinth fight here. Oh, yeah, that's for later, guys. I'm not going to tell you about that yet. My favorite punching bag is Winter Soldier. Especially now, he is perfect for Battlegrounds health testing. He's actually a little above it, so you can usually shave about 10 seconds. Sometimes more if your rotation is kind of like that, off a roughly what a Battlegrounds batch would be. Auto fight, excuse me. So we're just going to show you how fast you can do this stuff. Remember, this is kind of the worst possible AI for Superior Iron Man because it's so passive and you really want to be landing those intercepts, those light intercepts specifically. He's very rewarding if you know how to light intercept. If you don't, I recommend you learn. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing you can do with light intercepts. But essentially, the name of the game is just building up as many buffs as you can. It is ablative to build up as many of one stack as you can, or two stacks as you can before you go for another one, just because it's easier to maintain them that way, as I am doing. Though, nothing is wrong with a little intercept, and then you get it anyways. So he's already hitting quite hard. He's hitting 10,000 crits on the basics, and if he crit that special, it would have been even more. The regenerate, he doesn't need any synergies. I just want to make that very clear. I know I put on the Ant-Man synergy. That is really just to ensure you get regeneration as your second buff. See, that tankiness is crazy. It's not necessary. It's a very high chance. 71,000 non-crits there. It's a very high chance that you will get regeneration, or I guess not very high, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a 4 out of 5 chance that you will get regeneration as one of your replicatable buffs. So usually you don't need the Ant-Man synergy, I just throw it on for this, because what we're about to take you in, let's see how many seconds that was while I was yapping. Yeah, about 1 minute 14, not crazy. Again, passive AI does a lot for this character to make it not as amazing. But he's also rank 2. Not bad. Very good for Battlegrounds. Good nuke. Especially if you get a crit off that special 2, you'll be amazed. But the real thing I wanted to show you all that nobody's been talking about, just because everybody's focused on Battlegrounds, which they should be, it is the most competitive mode of the game, is he is a free explo for Labyrinth of Legends and Abyss of Legends. Obviously, you're going to need to bring some other characters in there, just for specific pain point fights and some fights that just need a specific character. However, he is going to be a workhorse for this, and if you are not that good at the game like me, he is your knight in shining armor to getting those two things fully explored. I have Labyrinth explored, I've had it explored for a while, I don't have Abyss explored, I don't particularly want to have it explored, but if you're at a point in the game where you want those two things explored and you pull a 7-star Superior Iron Man, I believe he could do this at rank 1. And I have tested this all the way through. If you guys don't believe me, I can do a stream of this sometime. It's fun. You literally just need Superior Iron Man. You don't need the Ant-Man synergy. It is nice to have, but you do not need it. He is so tanky and is able to output just enough damage, I would say probably even a little bit more than enough, that he will end every single one of these fights, barring a complete mess up, at 100% health. I don't really spec things in Battlegrounds. I don't spec the armor or the amplifier or anything in Battlegrounds because it doesn't really matter. Plus, there's a chance you get regeneration as your first, which is, in my opinion, the most valuable. I spec armor in this especially because it is good. I'm getting messed up on these PC controls. I spec armor in this because it's good for tankiness, and with the Ant-Man synergy, I'm guaranteed my regen buff as one of my repeatables. There we go. So I just do that. You don't need to, but he can just survive anything in these. I don't think he'd be good in Necro. I just want to put that out right there. I don't think he'd be amazing in Necro, but if he were, I wouldn't be surprised because he can really just survive anything, especially how quick you can get the tankiness of the armors up, especially that regen. It's just amazing. So we are going to show him off on Star-Lord. Of course, he has a little bit of a natural class advantage here. Always nice to see. But it doesn't really matter. I've done it with class disadvantage. I did it against Unstoppable Juggernaut, or Unstoppable Colossus, which is actually very surprising to me, because I would think, or I guess one would think, that the Unstoppable would, oh, look at him in the face, healing it right up, not even feeling it. You would think that the Unstoppable would actually diminish his viability because he's going to be, those buffs are going to be falling off. It does not matter. As long as you have the regeneration and the armor up as your first 2, or really even your first 3, it does not matter about Unstoppable at all, as long as it's not permanent. That's not going to matter. You might not be dealing as much damage, but damage is capped in these modes anyways. So what I did there is to refresh the amplifies. You can sometimes just throw out that heavy attack and get a lucky refresh. He's hitting damage cap for most of his special hits anyways, and once he gets fully ramped, he's get it for his mediums as well. For his medium crits, that is. I actually didn't do a light attack there. Amplify again, just to get it. So as long as you have those as your first 2 or first 3, it's not going to matter. You're going to be healing through everything. You are going to be annihilating everything with that big old armor break, which we're going to launch again. And really, it doesn't even matter if I stack anymore because it's going to be damage cap every time I do it. You might get a little bit more out of the basic hits. Damage cap medium there. 20,000 non-crit medium. And this is... You can keep this armor break up once you're at this point indefinitely. Maybe just shy of indefinitely. So, there you go. Now I've got max rank, max ramp. You need to stop going from mediums for light attacks. I'm just used to it. Max ramp right now, pretty much. Oh, I missed the medium. It's these darn controls. I gotta re-ramp a little bit. But he is gonna be surviving and tanking everything in this, which is just so satisfying, and it's just nice. I'm playing this brain dead, I'm talking while I'm doing it, and it does not matter for him. He will just take any hit. You don't even have to parry, which I am not very good at doing on PC controls. And he'll just fight right through it. Might take you a while, but hey, put a TV show on, just hang out, and there you go. Labyrinth and Abyss, just explored by one character. It's amazing. He's an amazing character, and he's criminally underranked. The Battlegrounds aspect as well is amazing, being probably one of, if not the best Zola counter, maybe just slightly outshined by Phoenix, but he can do a lot more than Zola, while Phoenix can really kind of only do Zola. She can kind of do Red Skull, but I'd say I'd put her and him pretty much similar for ability to do Red Skull. And he can do a lot of other fights. Killmonger he's fine with. Korg he's mostly fine with. I mean, Korg's a weird fight no matter what you do. But Korg he's mostly fine with. Atuma he's fine with because he's going to regen a lot of that chip damage that Atuma likes to put on you. Just a generally amazing champion. Hasn't gotten his moment in the sun, and I really hope he does soon. So that get that instinct up. I really hope he does soon. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's my next rank 3. I love him in Battlegrounds. He's my profile picture as well, if nobody knows that. I love him in Battlegrounds, and I love him in long-form content. I use him in questing all the time, and you can kind of turn your brain off for the most part once you're ramped. I don't want my buffs to fall off, so I'm going to do double medium, but you can, like, he auto-blocked me before I can even show you. You can just take a bunch of hits. I'm going to get stun locked for a second, and then we will be full by the time this is over. And my buffs didn't even fall off. He is an easy peasy champion. Not to mention that signature ability, if I somehow were to take enough damage with my armor, god, those crits, those are all 50,000 crits on the whole combo. Not to mention, if I did fall low enough, my regen rate skyrockets. Oh, auto block again. So he is just super tanky, a lot of damage cap and everything. Works in Battlegrounds. Probably one of the better buffs this year. That Star-Lord down, you guys get the point. Takes a minute, sure, but it's safe. You don't have to worry about a thing. And I have done this whole path with Superior Iron Man, including Maestro, and at no point was I ever like, dang, I'm about to die. This could be bad for me. 5-minute fight, not great. There you guys have it. That's Superior Iron Man. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. He is easy. He does a lot of damage. You guys should rank him if you have him, and stop underestimating my boy. Thank you guys very much. Look forward to another video tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys soon.